Hi all, and welcome back to another episode of Wolfquest Anniversary Edition Ultra Ironwolf Challenge with Gnat, Stickbug, and their 4 wonderful pups. That's right, last episode we did lose Skipper to the Cottonwood Creek pack. Unfortunately, even though there were 2 wolves and 2 of us, one of them managed to slip past both Gnat and Stickbug and get to Skipper, who was still outside the den with Moth. It was a difficult loss, but Nat knows that she has to keep going for her 4 remaining pups. So we're picking back up approximately right where we left off last time. I did have Nat get some sleep, but other than that, we're right where we left off last time. So the hexes have decayed a little bit more. We can see that Geode and Coyote Creek are over on the right side, kind of taking up those hexes, and we're holding Cottonwood Creek at bay up on the top left, but the bottom right is looking pretty flimsy. And she definitely doesn't want to see them again. That having been said, I don't see any changes in the wolves that we know, and I don't see any new wolves popping up, so it's probably time for Nat to go out and hunt. She is going to get Moth and Lacewing right back to the den, as there have been coyotes. Oh, that is just a hare, thankfully, but there have been coyotes lurking just kind of right next to the tree line. It's a little bit hard to see at this den when things are sneaking up on you, so aside from the fact that the fleas are starting to get irritating, she might want to move for that reason as well. She has stumbled across a few more dens while she's been exploring, so she has plenty of options for places to go. In the meantime, let's see, we're not picking up any scents of elk. She might just go marking, and if she happens to stumble across elk, do some hunting. Ugh, there's those fleas. That's not the best, but maybe this episode will be the one where we move to a new den. We'll just have to see. Nat is definitely apprehensive about the idea. Just the thought of the pup so exposed as she moves between this den and a new one does not really appeal to her. At the same time, they can't stay here with the fleas, so... But as I say that, our pups are getting quite big. Maybe if she sticks it out, she'll just be able to stay here until they're 15 pounds. Or maybe that's a really bad idea. It's hard to know. It's especially hard to know for her because she doesn't have any prior experience in raising pups. This is her very first time, and it's proven to be, in some ways, more difficult than she could have ever imagined. But in some ways, she does have hope. She's been doing all right on the hunting. She's been doing all right keeping her territory marked. And as much as it hurts to lose one pup, a part of her is grateful that she's only lost one so far. It's awful to think like that, but she came into this knowing with almost certainty that she was going to lose pups. She knows she's not as strong or as fast as other wolves. She knows she's new at this. And every wolf's life is hard. Let's see. Where are we? Something is... Oh, there's a carcass here, but there is also a wolverine on the carcass. It'd be nice to have a bite to eat. At the same time, wolverine. Maybe she can lure it away. They are pretty aggressive, so sometimes it's easy to get them to abandon the carcass temporarily, and then she can kind of sneak back and get a bite. We'll see if that works for her this time. It's definitely coming back, but it's coming back slowly enough that she's been able to get a couple of bites of the elk carcass, and if she leads it away again, she might be able to duplicate that. Well, come get her. Okay, here it comes. So she definitely doesn't want to get grabbed or swatted by this thing, but she does want that tasty, tasty elk meat. And thankfully it does appear that she's managed to outsmart it enough that she can grab some food. And if she can get one more mouthful, we can bring something back for Stickbug as well. Awesome. Wolverine can have the carcass now as far as she's concerned. She got what she needed. Okay. Oh, I don't know how I feel about extending the borders further over here, her territory that is, because she really doesn't want to have territory that she can't regularly mark. So she's probably just going to reinforce the hexes she already has rather than reclaiming those two that are empty now. Her opinion might change in the future, but for now that's how she's feeling. Better to have strong hexes than to have a bunch of scattered weak hexes. There is another den nearby. If she happens to stumble across it, she will definitely mark it down, but, no? Seem to be getting closer. Is it this tree and these rocks? It is. Alright. Wow, she's really getting down into, yeah, a part of the territory that I'm a bit more familiar with. But she's not going down as far as the balanced rock den. Again, she really wants to make sure that she only... I was going to say that she only has the territory she needs, and now I am heading kind of toward this blank hex. As long as we're over here... I don't know. She is a bit tired as well. Maybe she'll claim one of the two. I don't know that that would be super helpful in deterring Coyote Creek. But I also don't know that it wouldn't be, so might be worth a try. I do recall in one of the devlogs they did mention that having more weaker territory can in some ways be better than having a smaller amount of stronger territory. She doesn't know that, of course, and she's not going to drop this meat chunk to reinforce this. Maybe she'll come back another day. In the meantime, no reason not to take this territory, I suppose. She's out of stamina. She's out of stamina, she's getting tired, her pup's affinity is dropping, and because of the fleas, they're gonna leave the den a lot sooner than they would early in a den with less fleas, so she'll probably just mark this next one and then head back. Plans seem to be ever-changing based on the information she has and just how worried she is about the pups running off and getting lost again. Thankfully, she was able to track down Moth and Skipper when they did get lost, but part of her feels like she won't be so lucky the next time. Alright, so we will mark this hex and we will head back to the den. And if we stumble across the 42% scent post, all the better. Alright, I'll catch up with y'all when we're back at the den. See you soon. Alright, Gnat is back at the den. She's brought some food for Stickbug, she's brought some food for the pups, and I think she can see how restless they're all starting to get, and I definitely know she's felt the fleas in her own coat. And it might be just about time to leave this den. She did realize as she was out that the more fleas that are in the den, the less the pups are going to want to stay inside. So, certainly, despite the risk, it might be worth it. Yeah, definitely might be worth it to move to a new den site. Hopefully everybody eats some food. Weevil and Lacewing, Cricket and Moth. Moth, please eat. I know all you want to do is run around and play and get lost in the woods, but please eat. Alright, thank you. Who would have thought that the first pup we named would be the biggest troublemaker? And immediately she runs off to play with Cricket again. Cricket, stop distracting your sister, she needs food. Hey, get back to the den. Oh, over a rock we go. And stuck in the rock we are. Okay, we're gonna take Cricket back and hope Moth follows us. Did they eat all the food? Moth, you need food! Come on! Look, your brother left you some. And And Stickbug is watching Cricket and Weevil. Gnat scanning the horizon again. Certainly doesn't see any threats, but with the rain and with this den that doesn't, let's be honest, have the best visibility, it's always hard to tell if anything's lurking in the woods. And to think, I'm still pretty sure this is an open den. It's an open den with a whole lot of trees, that's for sure. Alright, as soon as Moth is done eating, we can get some sleep, and then it'll probably be time to take the pups to a new den. In the meantime, we should build up some affinity. The little arrow that determines whether the pups will stay in the tall grass when you're traveling is considerably higher than it usually is at den sites, so if we want to do any kind of hunting or anything while we're traveling, hopefully we won't have to. We do have a lot of dens that are nearby. Nat has discovered a lot of dens while she's marking territory, so we shouldn't have to go too far. At the same time, doesn't hurt to have pack affinity high. Alright, she's gonna get some sleep, hope the rain subsides and turns into snow. That's not quite what we meant, but it sure isn't raining anymore. And now it's not snowing anymore either. Alright. Did leave a fresh blanket behind. Okay, she is gonna feed them, and then let's see, what den sites do we have the option of traveling to? She definitely doesn't want to get closer to Coyote Creek. Cottonwood Creek? Wow, truly. And as we can see, the territory over here, and actually on both sides, is just getting degraded. Oh, well, these weren't very marked in the first place, so I guess we don't have to feel too bad about those two, but she wishes she'd been able to mark that hex over there by Coyote Creek, and she knows she's going to have to go mark over here by Cottonwood Creek. I think we might head for this den site here in the middle. Don't know if you can see my mouse in this recording, but I might just be saying this one over here and that one over there, and nobody can actually see what's going on. But hopefully it records everything on the screen in this window. Alright, pups. Eat up, and then we are headed to... Nope! As soon as I go into the... No! Why are they right here? Oh my goodness! She doesn't know where the pups are. Okay, there's Stickbug. I don't think we're gonna have a repeat of last time. Get out of here. Okay, that was geode. 1406F and 1403M. Both subordinates. Okay, let's name them after rocks. We're gonna have Flint of geode, and we're gonna have Diorite of geode. And we're gonna hope they stay away and we never have to see them again. Oof. The last episode's events definitely flashed before my mind's eye, and I'm glad that that went a lot better. I'm glad that Stickbug was here too. For a second I thought he'd wandered off. Okay, well, there's not going to be a better time to travel than now, so let us move to a new den now that the fleas have become severe. It's got a tip for us if we need to go hunting while between dens, but we really are just going to head right down to this den here, so hopefully we won't have that problem. Cricket and Moth are still eating. Okay, come on, pups. Truly, I mean, I do want Nat to watch where she's going, but at the same time, I've found it really easy for coyotes to sneak up on you if you're not watching your pups, so we're gonna have a mix of knowing where we're going and kind of just hoping we're knowing where we're going. Moth is leading the charge and immediately slips in the snow. And where is Lacewing? Lacewing is a little bit behind. Nat's definitely going to try to make sure that all of her pups stay together as they head down the hill. It's kind of hard because some pups are always going to be a little bit slower than the others, and if you linger too long, the pups will start walking back the way they came, and that's not really good. Yeah, okay, I do need to be watching where we're going as well as where we're coming from in case there's, I don't know, bison or any kind of predator ahead of us. So far, so okay. Yeah, We're already quite close to the den site, so hopefully this goes without incident. Come on. Come on, everybody. We are almost there to what looks like a rock den. Now, there is a age perk. I don't know if you get it at 5? Age 5? Gnat, of course, isn't going to get any of those, but there is an age perk that lets you know what kind of den you're approaching, marks them on the map with different symbols for rock dens, tree dens, and dirt dens. But, of course, we're never going to have that. This is another open den with little or no tree or ground cover. I'm actually going to say not now, just because I do want to take a look around and see kind of... This hill here does make it so it might be harder to see predators coming, but at the same time it's a lot better than the last den we were at. So I think we are going to claim this den. Or we're not, because our pups are too far away. Moth, come on. And Lacewing is all the way on the other side of the rock. Lacewing, come on, dear. Alright, and with that, maybe we can claim the den now. Okay. Our den has a name. We're going to go with the Big Rock Pile. Very descriptive, very accurate. Very beautiful, very powerful. Okay, this is our new den. They're going to call this den home until it's time to journey to the summer rendezvous site, or until we decide to move to another den. Now, I really don't think that Gnat will be moving to another den before they're all 15 pounds, but we do have some pups on the smaller side, so we'll see. I think it's a relief to be away from those fleas. Certainly she knows that she needs to go mark the territory, though. Pack affinity is quite high, and of course the threshold before which they will leave the den is now quite low. So she's going to send them inside, and she is going to go mark that territory over by Cottonwood Creek. Not that the Coyote Creek territory isn't looking, or Coyote Creek side isn't looking a little concerning, but they haven't killed one of her pups, so she's definitely more concerned about Cottonwood. I will catch up with you if anything interesting happens, or once we're back at the den with the pups. See you soon. Okay, so Gnat and Stickbug are back at the den. The affinity is quite low because Stickbug decided to tag along to mark some territory with us, which might have been for the best, as we did run into a couple of Cottonwood Creek wolves just kind of lingering on our territory, one of these 98% hexes. We also did manage to expand the territory into part of Cottonwood Creek. Gnat's just kind of hoping that that will give her a little bit more of a buffer, although of course we've still got a couple of weak hexes on that side. She's very tired, so after grading her pups, she's just gonna get some rest. We'll see where the next day, or later in the day, takes us. Does seem like we're going into the night now. After this, we might want to do some hunting, as Gnat's starting to get pretty hungry. And the pups are also starting to get pretty hungry. Okay, so we finally got the newborn ungulates announcement. Ungulate mothers have given birth to this year's calves and fawns, so we can go look around, see if we can find any of those to bring back to our pups, who can now eat solid food. Before that, though, Gnat is going to kind of play with them a little bit and maybe get some more sleep. I don't know, some of our territory is suffering, but she can't just keep exhausting herself every single time she wakes up. That's not going to be sustainable. The pups aren't so hungry that I'm really worried. They could definitely sleep one more time and not run into too much trouble. Okay. Get a little bit more sleep, and then we'll head out and see if we can't find one of those ungulates that the game just told us about. This is a bad nightmare. We sure hope that 5 eagles don't show up at the den at once. That would be impossible. A bear transforming into a wolf? And I guess that's probably, that last one's how Gnat pictures herself, just her and Stickbug against the world, trying to defend their pups against so many predators. don't see anything right now, but she still doesn't like them getting so far away. And Cricket has wandered away. That's great. Hey, bud, let's not do that. Let us not get lost. Let's get back in the den, and your mom is going to go find you some food. And while she's at it, oh, I don't love what's going on in the Cottonwood Creek corner, and I also don't love what's going on in the Coyote Creek corner, but Cottonwood is more pressing and more dangerous, so she's going to head over there. And while she's at it, see if she can't find something to hunt. It does look like Stickbug's coming with us, so hopefully we'll be able to find him some food too. If we're able to find a pronghorn or a mule deer mother even, we might be able to hunt the mother and then find one of the calves or fawns in the tall grass nearby. That would be best for Gnat and Stickbug here, as they do need to get food for themselves as well as their pups. So let's see what we come across. Oh, there's the scent of a cow elk, mother and baby herd. Which, okay, this was something we'd already marked. I mean, not quite what we're looking for in terms of food for Gnat and Stickbug, but they could eat an elk calf. They wouldn't object to eating an elk calf. Don't see the mother yet, but I do hear the music playing, so she's around here somewhere, and so is her baby. With the grass settings on higher, it would be a little bit more difficult to tell where the baby might be hiding, but my computer can't really handle that, so we're going to stick with what we've got and just kind of accept that it's going to be a little bit easier to find the babies. There is the mother, so the baby's going to be somewhere in her vicinity. If we get too far away, as you probably heard, the music goes back to kind of the traveling, adventuring music, rather than this, which this track I believe is called Hide and Snack. A little bit dark, but it's nature. So far, oh, well, there's a mule deer. Oh, goodness, she's packing a punch. At the same time, be good food. Oh, she's chasing Stickbug and not the other way around. Hey, Stickbug, do you want to maybe try biting her? I don't know that Gnat can do this by herself. Okay. That should help a little bit. We don't want to bite her at the same time as Stickbug does, since she could kick us both off and deal extra damage. So, oh, but she is doing just as much to us as we are to her. I mean, not overall to the two of us, but thanks, Stickbug. We can always count on you to help us out. Does look like we're going to be able to take her down, which will be good for the parents, two parents here. And then hopefully we can track down that elk calf for our pups. Although if we do find that elk calf, we won't be able to mark, and that territory really needs marking, so maybe we'll just kind of eat this doe and then send Stickbug home and forget about this particular calf. Good luck for that elk mom. Bad luck for the mule deer mom. Alright, we are going to send Stickbug back to the pups, and hopefully he will be able to feed them. And we are going to go mark some territory. I will catch up with you when we're headed back to the den, or when we get there most likely. See you soon! Okay, so Gnat has managed to mark quite a bit of territory. She's not quite back at the den yet, but I did realize that it would be nice to showcase some footage of kind of tracking down a baby ungulate. So as you can see, we've got a mule deer doe all by herself standing here in this field. That means that there is a baby nearby in one of these tall grass patches. In my experience, they tend to be not super close to the mom, but you know, within maybe, I don't know, if you think of these grass patches as like kind of rings of grass, they tend to be within 3 or 4 rings. So Yeah, that probably made no sense. Made sense to me in my head, but probably to no one else. Just kind of like, it's not going to be in the closest grass. It's not going to be in the second closest grass in all likelihood. But the third or fourth closest grass on any side, probably going to have a baby in it somewhere. Not having a ton of luck thus far. Let's see, maybe it is a little bit further away? There we go. That is not her baby. That is someone else's baby. Okay, well, that works. But as you can see, this is not a mule deer fawn. This is I think this is an elk calf. And if it had been her fawn, she probably would have come running, but she didn't. So I do think this is someone else's baby entirely. Not quite what I meant to demonstrate, but hey, we found one. So Nat will be taking this back to her puppies, and I will meet you back at the den. Alright, so Nat is back at the den. She's brought this calf back for her puppies so they can have something to eat that is not regurgitant. That should be a nice treat. And Moth is hanging out in a dangerous place far from the others. Who is surprised? Raise your hands. I'm not raising mine. Alright, Moth, come on. All of your siblings are having a nice bite to eat, and you can hang out in a place that isn't dangerous as well. It does look like Stickbug probably fed them before we got back, but that's okay. That's probably for the best. They were quite hungry. So, we're gonna greet Stickbug. That's a more normal gin rest than the last one. Weevil is going inside for reasons unknown to us. Come on, Weevil. We don't want to have to flee another den because of the... I was gonna say because of the fleas, but if we take a look, at our pack stats, we can actually see that most of them are quite close to 15 pounds. Lacewing is actually over 15 pounds. She is a chonker. Good job, girl. You gained that weight. We love you. Alright. If we bring Weevil over here, Nat can get a bit of sleep. We are probably going to have to do some interacting with the puppies when we wake up again. Thankfully, I mean, we did manage to mark a lot on the Cottonwood Creek side. If I wake up and there is a bunch of weak territory over there again, I don't know. I'll be sad. Okay, it's still pretty good. There is that one suspiciously weak hex, but I'm actually not sure I marked that one. So if anything, we'll be heading over to the Coyote Creek side next. Well, of course, it's good to spend some time with the pups. This might be one of the last times we see them as little squishy babies. They will be lanky babies soon. And Stickbug is taking the food. Stickbug, you don't need that. You're not that hungry. Okay, I guess he's a little hungry. Weevil's going inside. I do want to make sure we get the pack affinity up before we head out anywhere. Once again, if we never have a repeat of that one time, I will be happy. The pups don't seem super keen on interacting, though. They seem pretty sleepy. Oh, okay. Now they're up. And back to sleep. Mom, stop bothering us. We're trying to nap. Alright, I mean, with that... Is Stickbug gonna come with us? If he stays with them, we don't really need to woof them in. It does look like he's coming with us, so... Do we really need him to come with us, though? Stickbug, could you please just stay and watch the pups? Yeah, alright. We will be back soon-ish. Do want to mark some of these far hexes. And I mean, we're at it again with the markings, so I will probably cut to when we're back. See you soon, again. Okay, well, Nat is back at the den. She did manage to do quite a bit of marking. Her territory actually looks pretty good for the first and perhaps last time in this series. We'll just have to see. She's glad to be back with her pups and Stickbug. It was quite a long run around the territory, and she's pretty tired. Well, let's see. I wanted to look at pack stats. It does seem like if we sleep one more time, the pups might be ready to go to the rendezvous site. Who is walking toward us? Is that Moss and... Oh, I'm not sure about that one. Well, it's not Cricket and it's not Lacewing. Okay, it's Weevil. Have they grown up? They have! You've grown your pups to 15 pounds. Here come the lanky babies. Our pups are now 2 months old. Their bodies, though still small, are tough enough to protect them from the elements. They no longer need the den, and the fleas make it unappealing anyway. Now's the time to journey to a good place to spend the summer. So we are headed to the rendezvous site. If we check the map, we can see a whole bunch of potential rendezvous sites. The one that I think looks the most appealing to Gnat is the one that's closest to where we are right now. It's kind of still in the center of our territory. It's not too close to any particular pack, although we might need to reinforce the border around Coyote Creek. And it not being too far away doesn't hurt either. Now, as we can see, the pack affinity is currently lower than the arrow, so that doesn't mean the pups won't go in the grass if we tell them to. It just means they probably won't stay there if we need to hunt. So we should try not to take too long to get to the rendezvous site. There we go. Don't want to be sneaking, but I don't want to be running because while they are a little bit lankier, as you can see if you kind of zoom in and... Nope, there's a bunch of shrubbery. They're still not as fast as Mom and Dad, which Stickbug is keeping a watch on the back there. That's good. And we are headed for that rendezvous site. As you can see, they are a lot faster than they were when they were little squishy babies. So we don't have to practically crawl for them to keep up with us, but if we were to run, we would still outpace them. So walking it is. It's nice that they're all kind of in a line where I can see them without having to constantly be looking backwards or wondering where they are. That is nice. Let's see, I'm also keeping an eye out for, well, there's an elk herd over there. They're going to be too strong to hunt easily at this time of year. And there's a few mule deer, also probably too strong to effectively hunt this time of year. But what I'm mainly keeping an eye out for is any kind of ungulate that's straying too close to our pups. I have lost a pup to a bison before. Don't want to repeat that experience. Rest in peace, Hale. Okay, it does look like we are almost there. So the rendezvous site should be coming into sight pretty soon here. Coming into view, rather. Might be that tree over there. That looks like a likely suspect. And the hares continue to slightly startle me as I wonder if they are something scarier. Okay, this is going to be our pack's rendezvous site. I don't have a name for it, so we're going to call it Tall Tree Site. Now we're not going to have any problems with fleas here, so we can stay here as long as we like. With Gnat's tendency to be more cautious, I do expect that we will probably stay here for the rest of the game unless something unexpected happens. We do have fairly good visibility here, so hopefully nothing's going to be sneaking up on us. And with that, I think this would be a good place to leave off. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time back with Gnat and Stickbug and their pups. Bye!